Hello, welcome to the Enginerdy Show. This is Mr. Pold.
I'm St. Jimmy.
I'm interesting. No, I'm DVD.
Oh, I was going to have to beg to differ. Oh, just kidding.
You're a beggar. Beggars can't be choosers, so you can't be a chooser
Ain't
either.
too proud to beg.
All right, TLC.
That's right.
Are you left eye or?
T-Boz.
Oh, I always thought of myself as a chili.
No, I'm chilly.
Oh, I thought I was chili.
We can both be chilly.
It's warm in here.
So we can't be chili. I'll be left eye.
She was the cute one anyway.
I thought they were all cute.
They were okay.
Two of them are cute still.
The
Guessing the third's
other
not.
one's worm food? Is that what you're trying to say?
Why not
Too
cute?
soon.
How's that too soon?
Come on. I mean, we made fun of Stephen Hawking when he died,
Too
but
soon
don't
was
make
me
fun
making
of...
a comic making fun of Arnold Palmer when he died the day of.
He would have thought it was funny.
I think so.
Our fake sponsor this week is Alphabets. Bet on which letter will be said the most in random TV shows.
That
I've been
would
on
be
that.
horrible to try to figure out who won.
Just get a transcription and then write an
Then you
Excel
watch-
program that sparses. Or
You watch Happy Days and you keep hearing,
Hey!
oh...
So, you know what when you flip a coin and you ask the person, what do you ask them?
Edge.
Heads or tails?
But there's only one head and one tail, so why do you pluralize it?
I don't know.
Should be head or tail,
What if you have 3 coins?
then it would be heads or tails.
What if you're going to flip the same coin multiple times?
What if it's got 2 heads and 2
Impossible.
tails?
Why is that impossible?
I don't know,
I don't know either.
because there's no continuity of consciousness.
You're just saying C words now.
He's betting that
Hope
the
it's not
letter
contagious.
C will be the...
I can't confirm that.
Today's episode brought to you by the letter C.
C is for cookie. It's good enough for me. Sorry.
He devolves into Cookie Monster when he
I want cookies.
gets hungry.
So we're recording on our new
Zoom.
Zoom
All I wanna do is
R16.
zoom, zoom,
Did
zoom,
we
zoom,
mention that
and
we
a
got
boom,
this
boom.
last
Thanks,
week?
Mom.
I don't think so.
I wasn't on last week, so I don't know. But Mom was, and
Sorry, Mom.
she's the one that gave it to us.
Yes, as a surprise. And it was quite a surprise.
Yeah.
I was less surprised than you guys because I saw it first.
Oh,
Because I grabbed the box to hand it to you and I could see through the folding.
she tricked us because she said, "Oh, I got you guys matching shirts for your show," and I was like, "Oh,
It'd be
sweet."
totally cool.
They hand me a box and I open it and there's a Zoom in there. I was like, "What?" And then I opened it and proceeded to play with it. And now we're using it. And it sounds awesome. So thanks, Mom.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Mom.
Our listeners, thank you as well. Say it really loud and she'll hear you.
There you go.
There
You're
you go.
welcome.
So, I parked at a park and ride, and then I ride the bus to the ferry.
Okay.
Yes.
And there is a very annoying bus driver that I happen to get stuck with
one?
today. Well, there's a couple that... The other one's not quite as annoying
They're
as
married?
this one. No.
Oh,
So, one thing that this bus driver does that annoys me is instead of pulling up to the bus stop and stopping, he goes past the bus stop, turns into the park and ride, and then parks and walks up and down his bus, and then he drives around again to
Oh.
the bus stop. And I'm just like, I'm standing here in the rain
He
waiting for you.
he has to.
And
That's
you're-
protocol probably. He has to check
He's
his
the
bus.
only bus driver that does it, though.
Well, the rest of them probably do it before they take their bus. He's just late to work and
Well,
doesn't get his pre-bus.
Is it the
checked
guy
done before
that-
he leaves?
That every time tells you that you should wear your seatbelt?
What?
No, but
There's a bus driver that does that.
he does think he's a tour guide with... He's on the microphone all the time. This is something number bus, and we're and he just keeps going on and
Okay,
on.
I bet it's the same guy.
And he
guy's
talks
doing
like this, even when he's talking to normal people. He just talks like this, and
But he's not married.
And I'm just sitting there trying to read my book, and he's talking like this.
They should get headphones that you could
Make
set
sure you
and-
don't leave anything behind, because
instead
if
of
you
having
do,
noise
it might
canceling,
not be
it
there when you get
cancels
back.
Everything out. Just have one that you hit the record button when someone else is talking, and then you
Yeah.
hit the other button, and it just makes it so you can't
Needs
hear
that
them.
person.
Wait, who's
Anyway,
Where's our
Oh.
show page.
Gotta go up here on the upper
Can't
right.
you click? Whoa. I
What?
just bonked my
Whoa.
bonker.
Oh, usually it's on the left. Sorry, I'm doing show prep
It's
during
Facebook.
the show.
It changes constantly.
Oh.
Oh my.
Okay. So I had some water the other day, and I noticed that the
Water.
label on it informed me that it was non-GMO,
Oh my goodness.
I've had non-gluten-free water.
gluten-free. You'd have non-gluten-free water?
No, gluten-free water.
Oh, okay. I was like, whoa.
He has gluten added specially.
Ingredients: water, gluten.
It was really thick.
Just to screw certain people.
Turns out it was wheat I was drinking. Wheat.
Wheat. Yeah.
Wheat. Or W heat, like I like to call it.
W heat.
Yeah.
W heaties.
Ooh.
Yes. So I learned something important, which is funny as an
Important?
engineer that writes instructions for people to follow that are working on things. You should read the directions before you just start willy-nilly taking bolts out of something.
Yeah.
Like, let's say you have an engine compartment lid on a Fiero that is under tension because the way it's designed, you can open it and it stays up. So it has torsion bars that go across the athwartship of the car.
Okay.
And if you remove the wrong bolts, they spring open.
Would that be a thwart car?
Yes. And then I spent what took all of 3 minutes to remove 4 bolts. Took me an hour and a half to get it back.
Control Z, Control Z.
No, I was like, where? Oh. And as soon as I read it, it told me it was dangerous what I did.
Ooh.
And you definitely should not remove those bolts because you could injure yourself or damage the car.
Oh.
Wow.
So
That sounds
Living on the
dangerous.
edge.
read your directions prior to and not after. Apparently, order matters.
Hmm.
Yes.
Well, my allergies are totally gone.
Nice.
You
The
get-
day after I figured out that you can take Flonase and Claritin at the same time.
Yeah.
Ooh, baby.
You didn't know that?
I could have been doing that for a whole week.
Oh. Just don't do them the opposite of what you should do.
Don't
Don't
snort
drink
the,
the Flonase.
Claritin
Yeah.
and drink the...
Totally not
Well,
worth
the
it.
Flonase does say don't spray it in your eyeball.
Okay. That's probably a good idea.
Is it time for consumption already?
You're logged in as me.
I changed it.
All I heard was Elon loves meat.
I hope so.
Meat?
Me.
Oh, I heard meat.
I made up a really horrible joke today. I'm not
Yes,
gonna-
you did.
I'm not going to tell it on the podcast. I'll tell you later.
Thank you.
Not you. You already heard it.
I know.
Was it funny, though?
Mm,
I don't care if it's offensive. It was funny. It was one of those too soon jokes, probably. But is it, though? Because...
mm,
No, I don't think so.
Well, then that just makes it bad form.
It's still funny.
you're still funny.
Looking. Yeah, but smells aren't everything.
Did
No,
you
I might not have uploaded.
upload?
No, I
Oh.
didn't. The kids are on spring break, so they're always up, and they're like... Wow, that was before I got my haircut.
Whoa, what episode is that?
That was 2 weeks ago. We had 8 views
Oh.
on YouTube.
Oh,
8,
wow, that's a
but
record.
no comments.
It is.
Yes.
We need to find the one that's just me and Pold, because that's the one that... my
That
friends
commented.
listen
Oh, that's the one that you listened to? Is the one that we commented on each other?
to. No, we're just the only ones on the show.
Oh, I thought you meant the comment I made on
No.
YouTube and then you recommented. Or did you?
He
I
must
don't
reach the end
remember.
of the internet if he started watching our show. I've invited him on the show several times, but he's declined. Although I think it'd be funny on the show, but maybe he feels like he'd be self-conscious in a forced way.
Hmm.
Ooh, we could secretly record him.
Yes, we could.
How?
I don't know.
I have a Zoom R16. We could
Just in
hide
the
it
car?
in the car.
Here, can you hold this microphone for no reason?
Well, it does have
Why is there a
built-in
mic-
microphones.
Why is there a mic hanging from the ceiling?
Just install a mic in the seat. What if you could hook it to my stereo as a mic for like incoming phone calls?
Ooh.
Not very good one. Well, it's in the dash still. I wasn't planning on using it, but then my phone and car decided they would conspire against me and hook my phone to my stereo. so
Right.
that it rings through my stereo.
You could just decline the call.
I have done that, but I answer it and then I end up yelling because the microphone's in the dash.
Well, you have to turn the radio off.
It does that automatically. It's smart.
Oh.
It thinks it is. Skynet. for
Or
my
is
car.
it? If it was, it would screen your calls for you.
But
Man.
does your car read your text messages to you?
It probably could if I asked it to. My phone would. I
Weird.
think. I'm not sure what I want it to. Then it'd know what I'm getting.
Don't want the car to know that.
Are you reading my mail?
Pattern. Oh, never mind.
All right.
Shall we do some nerdiculture?
I think so.
So for nerdiculture, I thought we'd talk about vacations.
Why?
What's the concept?
Sorry. It's your fault though.
It's actually a Spanish word, vacation. It's when your cow leaves and you can't find it. And then
The
there's also that
cow-
saying,
The
till
cow
the cows
goes
come
on
home.
Vacation.
I thought it was Vaca T-ion, so it's like a cow that's lost one of its electrons.
That's why it's missing. It's looking
Just
for it.
one. Where did that electron go? I swear I left it
You
around.
know
here
there's a
somewhere.
theory that
Ion.
all electrons are actually the same electron? And
Yes.
Oh.
I don't believe it. There's no evidence.
Just like our theory that Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson were the same person.
They are.
Now.
After she's ingested them.
Oh, I didn't know that was how he died.
Jackson Flakes.
Oh,
No, with marshmallows.
oh.
A spoonful
But isn't
of Jackson
that-
helps
isn't-
the medicine go down.
Isn't the concept of a vacation kind of strange?
Is it too
though?
soon? Yes. Because you know who doesn't
you-
take vacations?
Ooh,
Animals.
they don't.
No.
I'm sure your dog takes vacation when you take him on vacation.
You're an animal.
Well, I think I'm not going to, like, hunt or something.
You're an
today. I'm
animal, isn't
going
that
to.
the thing that like?
You're an
goes
animal.
up
Yeah,
your
you don't want
stream?
that.
Oh,
That's in Chad. Lake Chad.
Well,
I don't want those.
I thought you meant Chad Vader.
vacations are for
Could be.
creatures that
Are sentient?
don't have to spend all of their time on survival.
Well, they wouldn't think about
Like
it.
at
even.
work, because they get vacation time from work.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, I thought we would talk about some vacation stuff we did since
Oh,
one of us went on a huge vacation.
it wasn't me.
And
It was
another one
Regular
of us
size.
had people come to them for vacation.
Yes, so mom came and watched my kids so that I could take my wife for our 15th anniversary to the Philippines where I used to live.
Cool.
And Master Zed and Charlie came with us,
Awesome.
which was
For the
very fun.
negative anniversary.
Their negative 2-month anniversary.
Hmm.
And
What's that? As far as materials.
that's the tar anniversary.
Tar.
The Worcestershire sauce.
It's Worcestershire.
That's not how it's spelled.
I don't care. That's how it's said. So our flight was Saturday morning at 1:30 or something. So I worked Friday, came home, mom was here. We got her organized, and then Master Zed and Charlie showed up at like 10 or 11. No, I think that's when we left. They showed up at like 8. And then we left to go to the airport and stayed up until after the first meal on the plane, which was probably at least an hour into the flight.
So what airline was it?
Eva. Their
Viva
hub
Las
is in
Vegas.
Taipei.
Oh,
I thought
So
it was
did
pronounced
they have-
Taipei, but
Taiwanese food.
Yes, they do.
Cool.
got McDonald's.
So their meal, they give you a Western option or an Eastern option.
Mm-hmm.
So
East is east.
I
West
tried
is west.
both. So the flight from
Which was your favorite, or was it a tie? Waka waka.
Taipei.
the flight from here to Taipei was like
Can I get pad tape?
Are there a lot of Type A people in Taiwan?
Type A. No,
Oh, okay.
that's a good one though.
Oh, positive.
It was like a 12-hour flight, I think.
Geography jokes.
And then they fed us twice, and we tried to sleep in between the meals, but it didn't really work. So
You guys are noobs.
Did they give you like a warm towel and stuff?
No.
Oh.
Our meals came with a like a
Napkin.
wet napkin
Mm-hmm.
A nappy.
and a dry napkin.
Dry one?
Yeah.
Be a paper towel.
So I hadn't really maybe dozed a little bit, and then we landed in Taipei. We were there for a few hours, and then there was a 2-hour flight from there to Manila. And so we got to Manila, and it was like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, I think.
Of the following day?
Of the following day.
Sunday?
Sunday, yes.
Sunday.
So the
and-
flight was only like 11 hours. It's not bad.
No. We left Saturday morning at 1:30
It's
a.m.
like
So it was really short on the way
36
back. then?
hours.
Yeah. I'll get there.
Okay.
So we get to Manila, and we had reserved a rental car. We got an SUV because we were going to be driving up in the mountains,
'Cause
and
you're
there were
large
4 of
Americans.
us.
Got it.
So we get there to the rental car, and they had my name in the system, but they did not have a car. So we waited for 2 hours while they tried to find one.
Yeah, why book things based on availability? That doesn't make any sense.
I know, why have a reservation system if they aren't going to have a car
Because they're
when you get
associated with the
there?
airlines. They do that all the time.
And it was we specifically went with like a big name company so that we would have fewer problems. Well, all the car rental places were in the same building. So after 2 hours, one of the other ones came over and said, "Hey, we'll match the price." And I was like, "If you can give me a car right now, we'll do it." And they're like, "Okay." So they're like, "But you got to come to our other office that's like 10 minutes away."
I had to wait 2.5, 3 hours for a car on a work trip, and there was like 4 of us that were in the car.
Well, at least you're getting paid, though.
I guess it's
You get paid till you get to your hotel.
full-grown adult engineers playing Mad Libs, sitting on the floor of the car rental place.
So probably 3 hours after we landed, we finally got a car from this little company. And then we had a 4-hour drive to our house we were renting.
Wow, that's a long way.
So it was well on dark by the time we got there. And we didn't realize it at first.
That it was dark? Why? We
didn't realize
Oh.
at first that our car had a tinted front window. We're like, man, it got dark.
Why would you tint the front window?
I don't know.
Protect the inside from
What
the
kind
heat.
of car was it?
It was a Suzuki Grand Vitara.
Oh.
Ooh. Was it white?
No, it was gray
Are you sure it wasn't
or
white?
silver.
Just
Oh, another fun thing. We get in the car and we're like, oh man, we need to get going. And so we go and we're like, first, the car wasn't full of gas. It had like a quarter tank. So like, okay, we need to get gas and we need to stop and change some money. Well, we get gas and we're going and like, we figure, okay, next
Do you pay with
bank
a
or
card
something.
at the gas?
Yeah. Next bank or whatever we'll hit the ATM. Well, then we suddenly run into a toll booth and there's nowhere to go around it. And we're like, okay, well, hopefully hopefully they take a card. Well, they would only take a specific card that we did not have. So we sat there for a while trying to be like, we'll give you
You didn't have the Filipino Express?
American money more than the toll is worth if you'll just let us through.
It's
And
too much work.
they're like, no, can't do it. They want us to like leave one of our driver's licenses to go through, get some money, and come all the way back around.
So when you're traveling in foreign countries, bring your expired driver's license to hand out.
Yeah.
Got it.
So we finally sat there long enough. The car behind us paid our toll.
I would too. You're wasting their time.
It was less than $1 worth. So I'm like, come
Well,
on.
it makes our toll look really horrible. It's nearby.
Yeah.
It's like now $6.50 or something.
Well, so then we're going and we see another sign for a toll booth. So we take the exit and the toll booth is on the exit.
Oh.
We still don't have any money. So we
if
just
you had gone straight, you would have missed it? Or was it on both exits?
there would've
every
been another
exit
one.
has a toll booth.
You have to pay to get on and then pay to get off.
Okay. I've
Yes,
seen
because-
that sounds
I've seen
a-
roads like that
never
in
mind, that's
Florida.
a horrible saying.
then
Don't
you
ever say that.
pay based on how long you were on the road.
Right.
But so we just pulled off to the side and I went up and talked to somebody there and she gave us some money to get through and told us where we could get some money. So if we had stayed on the road, we could have stopped at a rest stop, and there was an ATM there.
Oh.
So we kind of screwed that one up. But
Oh, well.
Silly Joes.
we finally made it to the area, but they don't have like normal addresses like we have. So all I knew was the name of the road. And so I call the lady who owned the house, and I'm like, hey, we're on your road, but how do we find your house? And she's like, just ask somebody. So luckily I speak the language. So I get out and I see these guys. I go over. I'm like, hey.
What did you say?
I said, Nasan bang bahay dito? And I showed them the picture. And they're like, I don't know. And they see an American. So people start coming over. And so I had the lady that owned the house talk to one of the people there. And they still couldn't figure it out. And finally, somebody comes by and they're like, hey, are you looking for so-and-so's place? And I'm like, yes. He's like, it's over here. So I follow them, and Master Zed turns the car around and follows us.
They were all murdered.
No, it was a pretty decent house. I mean, it was...
No, I mean, just someone says, hey, you're looking for... Follow me, I'll show you.
Well,
where
he
it's-"
knew the name of the
Oh, okay.
person. So it turned out that we're the caretaker of the place.
Turned out they were working together to kill
So she
Americans.
may have contacted them that we were in the area and to come look for some lost-looking Americans. But it was like
That's any American.
a
probably, though.
minute walk from the beach, so it was pretty nice.
Oh, cool.
The house had ants, though, so some of the food we left in the kitchen got antified.
Anted.
And there was no key to the house that we got, so we just left the back door unlocked when we left, so we didn't feel comfortable leaving any valuables there, even though there was like a gate to get in, but it wasn't locked. I mean, you could easily just reach through and unlock the gate. So, but it was a nice looking house, and our room had air conditioning. So
Cool.
we were there a few days. I went and saw some people that I knew back in the day when I lived there. And then the next day we went to 100 Islands. where
All 100 of them?
We only visited 3 of the islands.
I
Oh,
saw a
okay.
news story that there's a big
So 3%.
tourist place in
Yeah.
the Philippines that are closing to tourists.
Oh.
Because it's a cesspool, is what they said.
Hopefully it wasn't the place I was. The place I was really nice. But
You know, the cesspools. They don't
So-
get good reviews on.
so what we
Travel
did is we got there and
websites.
Got easy cesspool access.
we paid for a boat that would take us to 3 different islands of our choosing. And we had them as long as we wanted, but they would only drop us off 3 times. So we had them first take us to the island that we could get food at. So we went there and ate.
Food Island.
I don't remember what that one was
Island?
called.
How did you pick the name? Take the islands out of a hat or randomly by their name?
No.
You knew what was on them?
No, I asked for him to take us to one that had food. So he just took us to the one that had food. And then he took us to one that has this hiking path that goes up to this big statue. So we did some hiking. And then I told him we wanted to go to a beach to swim where there weren't very many people. So then he took us to another island,
Not a lot of people. Very many sharks.
and there was nobody there.
Boracay Island coastline.
Boracay,
Yeah, White
Not-
Beach.
not where we were.
Okay.
So we went and swam for quite a while and then had him take us back. And so we probably had the boat for, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours maybe. For 4 people, it was less than $50.
Wow.
So
That's cool.
good deal. I recommend it. And then we went up to Baguio City, which is the summer capital of the Philippines, because it's up in the mountains, so it's cooler.
So they have different capitals based on the season?
No, it's just like a
Oh, I
vacation
gotcha.
city.
What I found interesting looking at all your pictures was how many signs were in English.
Yes, there's a lot.
Like the
'cause-
Vin Diesel Calibration Center.
yeah, in the Philippines, the national languages are Filipino and English.
Oh,
So they learn English in school, and they try to do English for a lot of things, but
Did you see our fake sponsor for last week?
no. Oh yes, that's why I used that picture for the.
mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah, we saw Vin Diesel Calibration Center on the side of the road, and I was like, dude, took a picture. That was in Agoo. which is a place I went to a lot when I was there. So in Baguio, we rode swan boats in a lake in the middle of a park, which was weird because they tried to talk us out of them, but we were set on having these swan boats. They were paddle boats, so you each have pedals, but they're connected to the same paddle. It's in the middle and the front. And then there's like a slot underneath behind it, and then there was these little flimsy rudders at the back that you could control. But the rudders did absolutely nothing. The wind was a far stronger force than the rudders. So you could kind of steer, but often you would go the opposite direction you were wanting to go. So you'd just have to like circle around. So that was kind of fun. We had those for half an hour. It was like $4 per boat for half an hour. And yeah, I went and walked through areas that I used to walk through a lot.
Did it change a lot?
Yes. Yeah. There's a lot more people, it seemed like, and more buildings. And we stayed at a condo there, and it was really nice.
Cool.
So, Airbnb people.
I happened to run into someone I used to work with on the ferry while you were gone.
Yeah.
You worked on the ferry?
No. But she's seen me with you guys before, so she can recognize you as my brothers.
Okay.
That's scary.
Yeah. And I said, we were talking about it for some reason. And I'm like, yeah, actually, one of my brothers is in the Philippines. And apparently she's from the Philippines, and her husband is from the Philippines.
Cool.
And so...
Is she the one that has the last name that's like really short? That has...
I don't remember her last name. Anyway, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
She said that her husband hadn't been back since she was a kid, and then he went back to visit, and he said that his family relatives are in Manila.
Oh.
But he also visited outside of Manila always there, and he was like, I think next time I go back, I'm going to skip Manila, even though my family's there, and just visit this other town.
Nice. Yeah, so we went and found some people I knew, and there was a church, and there was a big path next to it when I lived there that went up to these houses where these people I knew lived. Well, we drive by the church, and there's like, the church used to be just out by itself. There was no other buildings near it. Well, now the buildings from town along the highway extend all the way past the church.
Oh, wow.
So the path was gone. So I was like, well, I remember there was a road that went up to like this high school, and then there was a walking path that went to their place. So we drove up by the high school, and we pulled off as soon as we saw a decent sized walking path, and walked down it, and ran into some kids and asked them, hey, do you know these people? And they're like, yeah, they're over here. And so they led us over and to meet them. And we get to the house of this gal that I knew when I lived there. And she's married and has kids now. And there is like a full-on road that I could have driven down. It was a dirt road, but it went directly to her house.
Oh.
She's like, why didn't you just drive here? It's like, I didn't know this road wasn't here before. Because she had a little shop there. So
cool.
We walked, on our way out, we walked down that road and went to the school because there was somebody I knew that worked at the school, and he was already gone, but we didn't get to see him, but it was fun.
That's cool.
And then from Baguio, so Mrs. Jimmy really wanted to see the rice terraces. And they're up in the mountains, kind of near Baguio. But it's 4-hour drive to go like 100 kilometers because the roads are super windy and narrow.
Oh, yeah.
And there's lots of like vans and jeepneys and
I've seen
stuff.
video. It's scary.
And it was super windy. So, and when they do road construction, they just like put down their material like in one lane. And so it goes down to one lane a bunch of times. And sometimes on corners, you're like, yeah, it was crazy. But we made it. So we drove that morning and got there in the afternoon to the rice terraces, which were awesome. And we ate lunch there, and we had a hotel up there.
Did you eat rice for lunch?
We had rice with lunch.
Oh,
so
good.
Yeah. We stayed at a hotel up there, and there was like native, like Aborigine cultural presentation where they did different dances and music and stuff. And
Cool.
Charlie and I danced with them. So that was a pretty nice hotel. And then the next day we drove like 8 hours to get back to Manila. And we stayed in this hotel. It's called Rizal Park Hotel. And it used to be the Army and Navy Club. And it's this really nice, fancy building. And it backs up to the U.S. Embassy. So there was like a lot of security going on there because diplomats stay at that hotel. So like to get our car in there, we had to like check in at this guard booth. And then when we went in, we had to go through a metal detector and all this stuff. So, and to go up to your room, you had to scan your card and you could only go to your floor, stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting. And, yeah, and then the next day, our flight wasn't until like 6:30 or something. So we spent the morning just sightseeing near the hotel in Manila. And then we flew home. We left at like 6:45 p.m. and on Sunday, and we got home at 7:30 on Sunday.
Cool.
So, and I got a little bit more sleep on the flight home. So
That's good.
I haven't felt
probably tired.
jet lagged at all.
Awesome.
So, yeah, it was a
I
good
know
trip.
the couple times I've flown to Japan, I don't feel too much jet lag going there, but coming back, it's usually pretty bad for me.
Yeah, I think sleeping when and how long I did helped.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we got home. I didn't get to bed that night until like midnight, but so I only got like a few hours of sleep that night because I had to get up and go to work the next morning. But
yeah,
all week I felt really good, less sleepy
good.
at work than normal. So
wow.
Yeah.
Well, I had an opposite kind of vacation where
oh boy,
I had family come and visit me and my wife. They're actually my wife's brother and family.
Oh.
So her brother, his wife, 5 of their kids, and his mother-in-law came to visit.
Cool.
So,
yeah.
So there's 10 total people.
Wow.
Luckily, they brought their 12-passenger van.
To sleep in?
No, we have 3 bedrooms that they can sleep
right.
in. So
3 1/3 of them took each room.
yes, exactly.
Some guy's like, I can't reach the last door.
So on Monday, we went out to the coast.
Oh.
And
by Madagascar?
The coast of the ocean. And it was very, the coast is at the ocean.
Edge of the ocean.
It was...
The coast is describing the land part, I think.
Yes, it's at the edge of the ocean. It's at the ocean.
Okay.
That's what makes it a coast.
But it's got
weird
like...
term.
It doesn't have the white sand that you would think of certain coasts have. This was more like black sand.
Huh.
That turned into rocks and then
Glass.
gigantic pieces
Mollusks.
of driftwood.
Oh.
Like trees that are like 3 feet in diameter as
Wow.
driftwood on this side.
Cool.
And there were tons of these little blue jellyfish-like
Are the flat
creatures
disc things?
that were dead. They have like a little sail on the back.
Yes, I've seen those.
Weird.
Those are weird.
I've
The
never
dog likes
heard
to eat
of
them.
that.
There was tons and tons of them on the beach.
We had to stop our dog from eating them.
Yeah. They're not exactly jellyfish, or I think they're more related to like Portuguese man of war. But they're
Must not be
they
poisonous
were
to
dead.
dogs.
Yeah, I was reading about them. They're not that poisonous. It says they weren't poisonous to humans, so
Oh.
I guess dogs would fall under that
I was
too.
worried about stepping on them.
But it was a beach I'd been to before. When I hiked down the coast, that was where we ended up. So I knew that a couple miles down the beach, there was something called like the hole in the wall or hole in the rock or something. But it's only passable at low tide.
Oh, right.
And but we decided me and my wife and my sister-in-law and niece all decided to go
for it.
find it. And we got to this part where there was like a stream that came out of the woods into the ocean that was a little too wide to get across. And so we had to climb on driftwood that was
Oh.
up high in the air.
Oh.
But it was pretty fun. And we did make it there, but it was
High tide.
like medium to high tide.
Oh.
And so my sister-in-law did manage to get
Sister-in-law.
to the hole in the wall. But she was like climbing on this almost, well, it wasn't sheer, but like 15-degree thing right above the waves. And my wife and I are like, no, we'll come back some other time and
How
do
old
it.
is the sister-in-law?
She's a little bit older than us.
Oh, okay. So she's lived long enough then.
Yeah. Well, and one thing I remembered about that was when I was hiking it, we were doing hiking with scouts, and I was with the stragglers. And so when we got to that spot, the tide was high enough that we couldn't get through.
Oh, so you had to
But they have these very steep stairs, like cut into the hill, so you go straight up and then straight back down.
Whoa.
And I saw those there too. I'm like, yeah, well, we could climb up and go to the other side if we want. And we're like, nah. So that was kind of fun. Oh, I was just looking at see what. Tuesday, we went to the large metropolitan city near us
Okay. Metro World. Land.
that
Yeah.
shall not be named.
Gotcha.
But anyway, they had a big science center there.
Yeah.
And so we went to the science center, and they have this one portion of it that has all these things that you can try. Like there's a thing where you see how hard your grip is, and it measures it, and
Oh.
other stuff like that. Well, there was this one table where you put these little things on your head, and it measures alpha waves.
Oh.
And there's like this little tiny ball in this long tube. And when you push start, the ball goes to the center. Well, the ball moves depending on whose alpha waves are better
Oh.
when you're sitting across from a competitor.
That's cool.
And so when you're standing in line waiting, you can see other people doing it. And it was funny, my 8-year-old niece and her, I don't know how old her grandmother is, late 60s, early 70s, I'd guess, were competing
better not
against
to
each
guess.
other. Yes. So I thought that was kind of interesting. They're like, there's probably more than 60 years difference here. Who's going to win?
Who won?
I
The
can't remember
grandmother
now.
died. Oh.
Oh.
I think it was the niece, the 8-year-old, but I can't remember.
Dogs don't have alpha waves. They have alpha waves.
There were these two kids. They were probably like 12, 13 in front of us, and they went right before my wife
Kids
and I.
have their hair sticking up have alpha waves.
And it was like, oh, let's see who's going to be better. And they sat down, and the ball just like basically went, boink.
Whoa.
I was like, wow, that kid is way more relaxed than you.
Those alpha waves for being relaxed.
Yeah, that's kind of like if you're sleeping, then your alpha waves are pretty strong.
Oh.
Anyway, so
How many midichlorians did they have?
so we did, my wife and I did it, and apparently my alpha waves are strong.
Nice.
So,
You're more relaxed?
and my nieces were making fun of us. They're like, yeah, he sat down and immediately fell asleep. I'm like, well, I've trained for years to be able to do that.
It's me at the dentist when I go in. I'm like, is this okay? I'm like, yeah. If I fall asleep, just nudge me and I'll wake up. You lay me down, and I don't care what you're doing. If you lay me down in a nice, comfortable chair,
I've trained myself a long time ago to be able to fall asleep very quickly.
Oh.
And so,
Sometimes I wish I could do that.
It's because he had to share a bedroom with me, and he had to race me to sleep. Otherwise, my snoring would keep me from falling asleep.
that's not true.
Camping, I always warn people: it's a race to see who can beat me to sleep.
I think it
Because
had to
after
do
I fall
with-
asleep, you're not going to sleep.
I think it had to do with when my senior year of college, I was working full-time at night and going to school full-time in the day. And so I had to learn to get sleep whenever I could fit it in.
Oh.
And so,
Yeah, when I did that, I just didn't sleep. I
had
just
a hard
relied
time
on
sleeping last
caffeine.
well, if I didn't get fit sleep in somewhere, I'd sleep during class.
Oh, yeah.
And
do
then I
that
would
too.
fall asleep taking notes and write whatever I was dreaming and waking up and like, I don't get what's going on here. But we also went to a laser light show.
Ooh.
featuring music from
Sounds
Sia.
redundant.
Sia?
Sia.
Never heard of him.
Her.
Did she play flute?
No.
Pan flute?
She's...
Sia minor?
Panacea?
SIA is how you spell it. It's
SIA?
She's a popular music
Must not be that
musician.
popular if I've never heard of her.
Apparently not.
Maybe you have. You just don't know it.
Okay, sing a Sia song.
I don't know any. There's the one about the, what was it, thrift shop or something?
That's Macklemore.
No, thrift store? No, maybe not.
Australian singer?
I don't know what she is.
She's Australian. This lady?
That's racist.
It
Yes.
says on her profile.
Names the name of any of her songs.
That's really weird.
She is weird, yes. She looks weird, but her songs are good. At least I figured that out at the Laser Light Show. Although I did fall asleep.
Does she do that every time she gets her picture taken?
Yes, she's known for not showing her face often. Kind of like Wilson from Home Improvement.
I don't think so, Tim.
She has 4 names. Sia Kate is a Boldley Furler.
Okay.
No
What are
wonder
some
she
of her
goes by
songs?
Sia.
Read some of the songs.
Cheap Thrills.
That's what I was thinking. Cheap Thrills. I don't know why I said thrift shop.
Chandelier. Because
Anyway.
that's you're thrilled to go to the thrift shop.
Yeah.
I just sit on the couch at the thrift shop, like, look, no hands. Ah! Stealing their walls.
We also watched a IMAX movie about hurricanes.
Oh, fun.
So they're pretty destructive.
That's because they're in a hurry.
Mm-hmm.
They're hurricanes.
They're hurricanes, that's for sure. We also
The football team?
So on Monday we also went to the rainforest that's near here.
I've done that. That's fun. Do you guys see the biggest cedar in the world?
Maybe.
It's labeled such. You would
Oh,
know.
I didn't see a label. We did see one
You
tree
saw the
that
second biggest.
we saw one tree that was probably like 4 or 5 feet in diameter that had fallen down with the roots and everything still attached.
Oh, yeah.
And had
A nurse
trees
log.
growing out of the roots. It was pretty
Oh.
cool.
Nurse log is what we call that.
Yeah.
Scouts.
Yeah.
Oh,
We saw another
baby.
nurse log that had all these huge trees in a row.
Hello,
Because
nurse.
they would, because they'd be growing in the...
I know, because
That's
there's not room on the ground, but there's room on the tree when it
I
falls
blame
down.
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot pushes down all these trees.
That's his garden.
Jerk.
Well, he usually makes them into like weaves them together. If you see
Oh.
trees. For
Oh, we did get a picture of Bigfoot. I'll have to show it to you sometime.
yeah, I'd like to see it.
Okay. Anyway, what did you do with your kids that were on vacation?
We went miniature golfing,
All right.
and we went to the anime store,
Tiny little golf balls.
and we went to
I
So,
bet TV
miniature
loved
golfing.
that.
so T-Viddy won the miniature golf. She
Oh.
tied Zoc actually,
Oh,
and I, however, got 2 holes in 1.
cool.
But I succeeded in making T-Viddy laugh
Awesome.
to the point that she was worried about her bladder control,
Oh,
so she told me to stop. I was putting with my hands
And he
behind
said,
my
"No,
back
my
with
face
putter
really
between my
looks
legs,
like
hitting
this."
the ball, and that made her laugh.
wow.
I
Okay,
missed.
physical humor.
Yeah, she likes Mr. Bean, so
Oh,
she likes that kind of humor, I guess.
you should get a little teddy bear.
What?
You should get a little teddy bear.
Or turkey on my head?
That could work too.
I don't know if she'd find that funny.
Oh.
And then we went and saw Ready Player One.
Oh, I haven't seen
We
that
saw it
yet.
in 3D, which was not
Oh.
bad, but it was expensive
Oh, I
for
bet.
5 adults to go see,
Oh, yeah.
because all my kids are old enough now.
Yeah.
It's like $80.
Wow.
Yes, but that was what we did for our spring break, because I had Mondays off. So the rest of the family has the rest of the week off, which is annoying when you're trying to go to sleep and they're all awake still.
Mm-hmm.
I'm usually the last one asleep in the house. It didn't help that something I'll talk about, consumption. I've been having a hard time sleeping the last couple of days because of what I've been listening to.
Oh,
Okay.
All right.
You
Well,
could write it into the notes.
How?
Phone. So, any other vacation stories?
no,
so
but
it's still
apparently
spring
I
break.
love cheap thrills. Sorry. That's from the song. I just remembered.
Oh, still doesn't sound familiar.
Maybe I'll
Is
play
that
it for
what
you
it's
later.
called?
Cheap Thrills.
No.
We had my mother-in-law and sister-in-law come up for our spring break to hang out with my wife and kids.
Oh, this week?
Yeah, they're here right now.
Oh, cool.
So,
Where?
well, they're at my
Not
house.
in this room.
Oh, I get it. So I'm trying to
Cool.
find your... Oh, Stitcher.
And that's Technergy. Just kidding.
That's nerdiculture.
That's nerdiculture. It just seemed like you talked so much during my segment that I feel bad. That
Well, I was gonna talk about that. Oh, I was trying to decide if I was gonna do my trip report for Technergy, but then I saw you had put it on your section, and then I had a coworker send me an article about a cool technology item, so I decided to do
sweet.
that.
Sweet.
So, this is from a company called MX3D, and they're in Amsterdam.
The
And-
Netherlands.
Yes, the Netherlands. And they are 3D printing a bridge.
Wow.
So they developed a 3D printer that,
Is that in Florida?
no,
Hope
Good.
it's better than that bridge.
Amsterdam. It's going to, it's a footbridge that's going to cross one of the canals
English
there.
Channel. Just kidding.
Yeah, the English Canal
That'd be a
in
big
Amsterdam.
For those who want to run a marathon across water.
No, it's
Well, you know, a lot of the Netherlands are below sea level.
yeah, so they have canals, and this was going to go across. So I think what it does, it didn't actually say in the article, but the 3D printer basically just lays down steel weld. And it's not,
So it's just made of weld?
the bridge is made of weld.
For all our listeners, weld is made of metal.
Yes. Well, steel, this one's steel specifically.
Steel is a metal.
Yes. So, unlike like a desk or a countertop 3D printer where it has to be in a case,
That just prints countertops?
yes,
I thought the same thing.
this one is built so that it can just
Print drawers, too.
build out in an open area. It
Oh,
doesn't,
that's cool. Like the concrete ones
Yes.
that make houses.
but it can also print.
Copies of itself. Oh,
No, what it can do is it can print something and then
Giant
move
Skynet sign.
itself onto that new section to continue printing.
Oh, that's cool. So it's like
So-
a climbing robot?
Their goal is to build a bridge in place.
build a
The
bridge out of it.
They want to build it in place with this machine just like starting on one side and building across to the other side. So they didn't do that yet.
Like when you're building in Minecraft.
Yeah, the bridge that they
Oh, yeah,
built,
do that.
they just built it in their warehouse where they could control the conditions.
Oh, I love controlled conditions.
But it's really cool looking bridge because it's basically they could design it to look however they wanted. They didn't have to make it out of like conventional prefab beams or anything. So they drew it up and they, figured out how to, make sure it was strong enough. And then they're going to install it over the canal where there's a temporary bridge right now. And they're going to install sensors in it so they can monitor like loading and fatigue on the bridge, and that way their future projects can be designed better. And it's also going to monitor like environmental conditions just so like they could see what the temperature is there and stuff like that. And what was the other thing it was going to do?
A murderous AI. Oh,
Hopefully, no.
Probably
Yeah,
it's not more efficient to do it that way.
murderous AI.
it's not
Building a bridge out of printed metal.
more efficient than a normal bridge. So the way they did it is the city is only paying them what it would cost to construct a
Oh,
normal
okay.
bridge, and then they're getting sponsorship for whatever extra.
Hmm.
But
And
as
don't get me wrong, you can build really cool stuff out of steel without having no purpose whatsoever, like the Eiffel Tower,
yeah,
just to prove concept.
but in the future it'll get cheaper and cheaper because they'll have better ideas, and they'll be able to figure out, how to use less material possibly or whatever. And, people pay a premium for artistic structures, so there is a market for stuff that isn't built, cheaply. So I thought it was cool. So far they've built with it just some art projects, like they built a fancy bench.
They need to combine with the concrete printer, so this part can build the steel internal structure, and then
They
the
could
concrete one.
They could do that. They talked about how there's...
So you could build probably pretty cool meshwork with it.
Yeah, there's like 3D printers that can build 10 houses in a day.
Wow.
It was in China, so I don't know how nice or big the houses were.
They're made of paper.
Well, it was made out of concrete.
Oh, okay.
Is it reinforced, I wonder?
I don't know. Because that
If you
wouldn't...
build it right, you don't need it, because you could build all in compression, I suppose.
Yeah. I don't know. But I thought that was cool. 10 houses a day. That's pretty efficient. But yeah. So pretty cool. Yeah. I think that's pretty much all I had.
Oh, okay. You were looking like you were searching for something, so...
Well, here's a picture of the bridge. They're going to put a steel deck on top.
Oh, weird.
That's strange.
If you want to see it, there's a Gizmodo article about it called "The First 3D Printed Steel Bridge Looks Like It Broke Off an Alien Mothership." And there's a view inside. I guess the deck's going to go down there.
Oh, interesting.
See?
That's cool. I like
So
that.
it would be really expensive to machine something
It's
Oh,
like a
yeah,
Cylon
definitely.
ship.
with that pattern
Mhm.
out of a solid block of steel. But to
Right.
3D print it is just as cheap as 3D printing any design. So
Yep. Cool.
that's Technerdy.
And the news with DVD. You got news?
I do. So
He's got
Australian government is looking
news.
into the death of sheep on a transport ship. Apparently, 2,400 animals died succumbing to heat stress
Wake
on
up,
the
sheeple.
trip from Perth to the Middle East.
That's a long trip through the
And
Indian
neither
Ocean.
one of those places is very warm or very cold. So probably
No.
very hot. And if they're sheep, they've got wool probably.
Yeah, they should have sheared them first.
Maybe they should have. The sheer number that died was... it's actually only
It was bad.
3.8% of the sheep on the ship.
Only 3.8% died,
Yes.
huh?
Of the 63,800 sheep that were on board.
Holy cow.
That's a lot of sheep.
That's...
That counts.
Holy sheep. Batman?
Oh, goodness.
Apparently animal rights activists are concerned.
They know that we
Are eating them?
eat animals.
What
all the
are they
time.
being shipped there for?
Carnival,
Probably for... Yeah, well... I think
pleasure cruise.
pleasure cruise.
Those sheep paid to take that ride.
Oh.
Paid with their lives.
Animals die all the time.
They do?
Yeah.
In nature?
Sometimes other animals kill them.
Sometimes
What?
they die from starvation.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes from heat, I'm sure.
Heat exhaustion?
Yes.
Heat
Even in the
stress?
wild.
Even in the
It
wild.
reminds me of a story.
Sheep
Especially if there's a
A friend
geostorm.
of mine decided to try his hand at sheep. So he had...
What did he
6
do with
sheep.
the sheep?
He tried to raise them.
Oh, okay.
But
Don't go to
they
sheep.
all succumbed to something and died in the middle of winter.
Oh.
And he could only dig down not far enough to cover the entire animal. So when he looked down his field, he could see sheeplings sticking out of the ground.
Oh, my goodness. He buried him legs up?
Well, you probably have him next to the hole and you roll him off in the hole. And what happens? His feet go up.
Oh, man.
Lamb chops.
So he,
So
that's...
he got the lawnmower.
yeah, he
Oh.
get a weed eater.
Just let the critters and varmints get them.
No, you just, decorate them.
So I was trying to find
And decorate them with Christmas lights.
this. This is not a good story. Turkey University gunman kills 4, but picturing a turkey with a gun is kind of funny.
Okay.
And that's the news. I didn't have much news.
All right.
Oh.
Well,
I got distracted before the show modeling our podcast studio. in
oh, I
AutoCAD.
can see that.
This isn't
I just
nerd
started.
cred yet.
I just started, and the computer decided that was the time it was going to reboot for an update.
You know, everything DVD says is nerd cred.
I know. If you want to support us, go to our website, engineerdyshow.com, and click through one of our Amazon links. That will take you to Amazon, where you can do your shopping, and a percentage of what you buy gets sent to us. And it doesn't cost you anything extra.
If you think about it, it's amazing those sheep died from heat stress, not drowning, since the boat was made out of sheep.
The boat was made out of sheep.
Just kidding. You just lash them
They
all together.
just rotate the
They
sheep
just
from the
get-
bottom to the top.
No, you
every
just
now and
get sheets of the hook part of Velcro, and you just stick them together.
then. They're held together by Velcro.
Well, if it rolls...
Okay.
Say no, right, man. This ain't Jimmy.
What? I like sheep. They're friendly.
All right.
They're dumb, I've heard.
Should we do some consumption?
Yeah.
Yes. Go.
I watched The Last Starfighter.
Yes! I watched the first one. I didn't know there was a sequel.
I didn't know that was a sequel.
It's Kylo Ren in it.
It was very dated.
Yeah.
Was it?
The
Did you have, like,
special
aliens?
effects were very, very
Special.
dated. Even
They were
worse
more
than
sp-
Babylon 5.
They were more special than
But it wasn't
effect.
as boring as Babylon 5. I'm sure.
No, I didn't fall asleep in the middle like I did trying to
The
watch
middle?
that.
You made it to the middle? I'm impressed. I made it through the first 10 minutes. I was like,
Apparently, Will Wheaton is in this
Will
movie.
Wheaton?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Is he one of the aliens?
No, he's one of the kids in the trailer park.
Really?
You see him twice. Short,
Does he have a
like-
beard?
No.
Oh.
Um,
Isn't it weird that Will Wheaton now looks like, what's his name?
Riker,
Riker.
except shorter.
Both, the beard.
Oh yeah. No, we were watching the credits and I saw Will Wheaton's name. Like, what? He was
Will
in that.
Wheaton.
Anyway, I guess you can see him briefly at the beginning of the film. He's running past when they're doing a pan through of the trailer park.
Huh.
And then you can kind of see him at the end. He's in the crowd of people, but he's standing behind somebody, so you can't really see him. But you can kind of make out the same colored jacket that he's wearing early in the film. Anyway.
Cool.
Yeah, it was all right, though. It was very nostalgic.
I like it.
I think this would be something that could make a good remake
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it.
using modern technology.
We've
with
got
special
technology.
effects.
Let's do it.
A
A
That
shot
I
for shot
watched-
reboot, but we'll have it in New York.
His character's name is Lou's friend.
Yeah. And Lou was the younger brother
brother.
of the main character.
The one that got freaked out by
The
his
one that
boiling
did all the
brother.
cussing in the movie.
That was his sixth acting
Wheaton?
role. Yeah. He
What
was
was before
a
that?
They
voice.
cut all his voice or his.
He was a
lines
out
voice
of
in
it.
The Secret
Yeah.
of Nim.
Oh yeah, I
What?
remember that.
Yeah, he was Martin.
Lawrence?
He was in
That's a weird role.
he was in a TV movie, a TV series, and two TV movies, and a movie called Hambone and Hilly
That sounds horrible.
before he was in The Last Starfighter.
Huh, interesting. I also watched a movie called Geostorm.
Oh, I saw people watching that on the airplane.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
So we went in knowing it was going to be
It's
Was
got
any- did
Gerard Butler, right?
Did any part of
Yes.
it take place at a metro? Please say it did.
a metro, like a metropolis.
Geo Metro.
There
Or
were
like my
there
math
were
superhero,
cities
Geometro.
involved. There were cities involved. So I went in expecting like this huge disaster film with everything blowing up like 2012,
A
Yeah.
Space
but
Odyssey.
there's very little blowing up stuff compared to what I thought there was going to be.
no dirigibles.
A lot of it takes place on a space station, and there's
Really?
like government conspiracy stuff going on.
Geo means
and-
planet, right?
The
So the-
station was affecting the weather on Earth.
yes, the premise of
Was
the
it geosynchronous orbit?
No.
well, kind of.
Oh,
The-
was it?
The premise is that they've got this net of satellites over the entire Earth that control the weather.
That seems like a horrible idea.
Well, that's what they do in the next generation.
But who gets the good weather?
Me.
Everyone.
But wouldn't you need rain in order to grow stuff?
Maybe it rains at night.
They didn't explain that part of it. But they did explain that somebody was monkeying around with it, using it as a weapon.
I knew they should have said astronauts and not monkeys.
No! Oh, man.
And there was this one inexplicable part near the end where one of the characters turns into, like,
Sheep.
James Bond or something.
Oh.
At least it didn't turn into a giant, like,
No, but...
animated...
Okay, so she's a Secret Service
press.
agent. So I guess she knows
Secret
how to shoot a gun.
Agent man.
But she was, like, doing all these crazy maneuvers in this little tiny car
Was
and
it a
shooting,
Geo Metro?
like... That would be funny if it
They
was.
have a Geostorm. That's actually a car.
That is actually
That's
a car.
funny.
Tiffany's sister had one.
But she,
When we
like,
were dating.
flips the car around. She's driving in
When
reverse.
TV and I were dating,
just
not her, me and her
puts her
sister.
hand out the window of the gun and, like, headshots and just flips around. We're like, what the heck just happened?
Was she Angelina Jolie from
No.
Wanted? Oh.
But it was like, all of a sudden, the movie just, for a couple seconds, turned into something just insane. And then...
I think the guy in the editing booth fell asleep and someone came in and was like, "No, I want to do a Fast and Furious movie."
Yeah. But...
It's
Yeah.
like everyone's asleep at that point. They want to wake you up.
If you know what kind of movie it is going in, it's not horrible.
Like 2012.
Yeah. And I finished reading a book.
Your first one?
No. It's a book by Peter F. Hamilton, who's one of my favorite authors.
Oh, the old PF.
I've got 2 of his books. I've read... This was the 4th one I read from him. I own 2 of his books, I should say. This one is called A Night Without Stars.
So he stole 2 of the other ones?
So it was cloudy.
It was daytime.
So, it'd be too complicated to explain the entire
That's
plot. But it basically revolves around a group of humans
Revolves?
that are on this planet that
At night.
has
That
been
revolves.
ejected from the from the galaxy.
Oh,
How do
I
you
hate
stay
it when that
alive?
happens.
There's a star that it orbits around, and there's all these other planets of species that are dangerous or nonconformist.
So,
And so on this planet with the humans are these aliens that can make themselves look like humans.
Cylons?
And they're trying to destroy humanity.
Oh, man.
But-
So am I. Oh.
They're able to... People from...
Also like the mosquitoes that they can mate with humans, but they can't produce offspring. So they're like sterile male mosquitoes. They release into a population, and that's how you
I didn't know
decrease-
mosquitoes were mating with humans.
He said that wrong.
Oh,
I
okay.
think I said that wrong. They're controlling mosquito populations by sterilizing the male mosquitoes and then reducing them to a population.
No.
No.
But they
Doesn't
can
work as
also...
fast with humans.
These
because
aliens
they
can
take long
also
to
make
reproduce.
themselves look like animals. It's
Oh.
whatever they touch and consume.
Was Odo in it?
No.
Oh.
But among these humans, some of them have genetically enhanced memories and knowledge stores and stuff. But the society puts them as the lower class so that they won't...
Rise
Take
up.
over.
They call them elitists. And so they're treated as the scum of society. Anyway, everything changes when some technology from the galaxy makes it out to them and tries to help them defeat the aliens and get back to human space.
Cool.
But it was
So that's one of my favorite things is moving planets.
well,
Like not like moving like they always do, but changing orbit and just I think we should bring Mars and Venus into our same orbit so we could colonize them.
so there's this cool part in there because some of the technology they have is wormhole technology, like kind of like
Oh.
Stargate type thing. And they had these aliens that were villains from one of the other books I read from him that were very dangerous. It's like you need to exterminate these aliens immediately or you are not going to survive. Anyway, they opened a wormhole on the aliens planet and the other one in a gas giant and basically
Oh.
sucked all the gas giant atmosphere onto this other planet to kill
Nice.
the aliens. It was pretty cool.
Why don't you open it in the star and just fry them all?
They do that later in the book.
Oh. Spoiler alert. Sorry, I didn't know.
Anyway, it's pretty good. I want to go back and read some of the other books that take place between the books I own and this book. Because there's like
If you had
5 or
two of
6.
them, could you put portals on top of each other so you fall through one and then back through the other one so you can keep them in stasis?
Probably, yeah.
Cool.
That's
I
it.
saw Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle.
Isn't it good?
I
It was
love that
really
movie.
good. Yeah,
It's so good.
I liked it.
I think Jack Black did.
Jack
excellent
Black
job.
was awesome. The Rock was great.
Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah.
Karen Gillan, I really like her.
Did she sprain her ankle? What's...
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I saw The Greatest Showman, which is a musical.
Is
and
it the
it's-
greatest?
TVD has seen that 4 times in the theater.
Oh, wow.
It's about P.T. Barnum, but it's not like historically accurate.
Musical.
You mean Petey. Just kidding.
P.D. Barnum?
Yeah, P.T.
His
Barnum.
most
So
known
it's
brother.
basically about
When he was a child.
this guy that starts a circus in New York, and
Mm-hmm.
there's
Spoil it.
intrigue and stuff. It's pretty good.
New York
You
City.
should watch it. The music was good. Hugh Jackman was really good in it.
I think that's why my wife was wanting me to grow my hair long for a while.
So you could be like Hugh Jackman.
Yes.
That's why my wife was wanting me to get an adamantium skeleton with claws.
That's a good idea. But she wants you to, instead of have gloves, have helpful things that around the house.
Spatula comes out.
Spatula, screwdriver.
Can you flip these?
Oh,
Blender.
Screwdriver, that'd be good.
oh, yeah. Drill.
Okay. We watched a movie called Wonder. It's based on a book
Wonder what that's about.
that my kids
woman?
love.
Oh.
So it's about
Is there
a
woman in it?
kid that's born with some birth defects. So he has like
Oh.
a bunch of
Way to make my jokes seem inhuman.
like scars and stuff on his face. So he looks weird. And
Oh, I remember this one. Yeah.
he starts
I've not seen it, but I saw the previews.
when he gets to 5th grade age, his parents decide to send him to school instead of homeschooling him. So it's basically
Oh.
about
So I was in gun danger.
him going to school and how the other kids react. It was really good. It was
Heartwarming.
his folks are played by Owen Wilson
Oh,
and Julia Roberts, and they were both really good in it.
yeah. She's in my favorite horror movie.
Yeah, I know. So I recommend it. It was really good. I liked it. I watched The Shape of Water.
Is that where a woman
Isn't it
rapes an
Takes
unintelligent
the
fish?
shape of whatever container it's in.
It was
It was liquid.
It was
so
about so it was a period piece back in like I don't know, the 50s maybe.
It was a bestiality movie, right?
Yes, there's this.
It's a remaking of the creature from the Black Lagoon.
No, there's
That'd be
this.
like the mermaid, that one movie. What was it? Splash, but without the mermaid being not sentient, intelligent.
It was intelligent.
Was it Sapien?
Did you see it?
I just heard about it.
Oh, the fish man is intelligent.
Is it afraid of sodium?
That was a MST3K reference, I believe.
Yes, it was.
So this lady works at this like top secret government facility,
They have those.
and she's mute because she like had some damage to her neck or something.
So she's mute and he's dumb.
And they bring this fish man in that was like something they found down in the Amazon that the natives worshipped as a god. And
That's a good thing to remove from their location and bring to a lab.
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna take this.
she befriends it, and
Rapes it.
well, they have consensual relationship.
They're different species.
So
All right.
it's consensual. That doesn't mean it's not consensual.
That's like Worf marrying what's her name on
Troy.
DS9.
Oh, Dax.
Yeah,
Jadzia. Was that rape?
Yes. He's a Klingon. That's what they do.
And then I watched Logan Lucky, and it was
Oh, yeah.
awesome.
Isn't that good?
Yeah. It's got Kylo Ren and James Bond and
they're Hicks.
Channing Tatum, and they're all like from West Virginia, and so they all have these West
outrageous
Virginia accents, and it's basically they say it in the movie, but it's a hillbilly heist
Mm-hmm.
movie, so it was pretty good.
It was pretty ingenious plan they had.
Yeah.
I liked it.
So yeah, that was good. That's what I
What'd
watched.
you watch?
So I found so let's see how I found this podcast. So my wife was laying down for a nap. So I went into the bedroom and I think I decided I was going to just lay down for a minute, and she was listening to a podcast and she was asleep. So she fell asleep listening to the podcast. So I started listening to it, and then she woke up, and we went someplace, and I put it on in the car so we could still listen to it, and then I got hooked on it. It's called The Black Tapes.
That's how it always starts.
It's really good. Now I'm farther ahead than she is. I'm in season 3.
Oh, she does that to you all the time with TV shows,
Right.
though.
So it's basically follows a journalist that has like a podcast, that she was going to do a podcast on interesting people and their jobs, like interesting jobs. So the first one she decided to do was on paranormal investigators,
Uh-huh.
and she got in contact with a guy that his last name is Strand, but he debunks paranormal things. He doesn't
Mhm.
believe at all. And so he actually offers $1 million prize for people that say they can prove, and then he goes and disproves paranormal experiences. And it dives deep into the paranormal from there, and it's great. It's awesome. I recommend it. You find an indie podcast thing. It started back in 2016, so there's 3 seasons of it. But this has been what's been keeping me from sleeping well at night.
Oh.
I can't go to sleep. Especially when yesterday I listened to, while working on the car, I listened to their Halloween extra episode. So the one episode they have, the main character, the reporter, she has a hard time sleeping, and she has these horrible nightmares. And so her sleep doctors wants her to record, sleep journals when she wakes up in the middle of the night, record what her dream was about.
And now she writes horror novels.
Right, and so some of the stuff was like horrifying, kind of like that short I wrote about the witch.
Uh-huh.
Just like similar to that. But I got so that I laid down last night, turned the lights off, and I'm like laying on my side looking right into my dark closet. And so I turned on my classical music for studying Pandora account, and that helped me after 20 minutes to fall asleep.
I might try this based on that.
It's really, really interesting. So check that out. They have a couple other podcasts, the same group of people. They have one that I might listen to called Tanis. It's talking about like an ancient civilization idea or person that no one really knows what Tanis is, but it's like dark web stuff. So check that out. And then, like I said earlier, we watched Ready Player One in 3D. Which, if you're going to watch a 3D movie, I guess it would be a good one because most of it's computer generated, so they can do a really good job with that 3D. If you like stuff from the 80s and video games, you'll love this movie. It does not follow the book as far as the challenges they face.
Oh.
And some of the stuff, which you can understand because trying to get rights for everything would be difficult.
Yeah.
I bet.
And you can do that in books without having to worry about. But a movie...
Oh. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
Especially with music and stuff that'd be in the movie also. I think it'd be expensive to make.
I bet.
I like the actors. All the actors they had in it were really good. Thought they did the parts really well. It's pretty cool. There's some cool stuff in there. Like one of the characters drives a DeLorean.
I've seen that in the trailers.
Yeah. That's why I said that, because it's not a spoiler because there's trailers.
Right.
Iron Giant's in it.
Yeah, I saw that too in the trailer.
I had somebody disappointed to ask me if it was an Iron Giant like prequel. I was like, no. It is not.
Is it a Back to the Future prequel?
And then I watched a superhero movie that superhero movies have been kind of getting like just typical. Oh, it's another superhero movie. When like before Iron Man, it was exciting to have a new one, right?
Yeah.
But we watched one that like broke the mold for me that I really, really enjoyed, and that was Thor Ragnarok. I really liked it. And it's brought to my attention that apparently if I was going to be a super powered person, probably the closest person I'd be would be Loki.
I was going to say that.
But not his dark hair. My hair's not that dark.
You could dye it.
But it has the Hulk in it, and it's awesome, which I mentioned because it's in the trailer. And it's been out for a while, people. Come on.
And it's got that guy from The Fly in it.
But I was enjoying it.
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, I was enjoying it so much that I didn't catch a lot of the foreshadowing of how they're going to solve the end problem.
Oh.
And I thought, duh. Well, I think I did see it because I was just like had a grin on my face through the entire thing because I loved it. It was so good. I love the kind of out of character witty banner, and I decided that people that have a problem with it because it's too comedic. It's like, well, it's probably just Loki telling the story. Which you can see is he's kind of put it in a good light in the movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, go see that. That's really good. But I'm watching a new anime called B, I think. It's just the letter B with I think it's colon the new beginning or something. They call the main character in it Killer B.
I get it. Beginning.
Yep. But I don't think it's actually a bee. It's a guy that kills murderers. It's got like one of his arms transforms into a sword, and then he has wings. And there's other powered people that
If
are
he was a
chasing
bee,
him down.
it'd come out of his butt. The sword would.
This is definitely his arm.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty good so far. Some of the stuff I cultural references and probably Japanese culture I don't get. Sometimes you miss stuff like that, but it's in English, so you don't have to read stuff, which is helpful. So I'm halfway through the first season of that, and that's on Netflix.
Cool. All right. Does anybody have any nerd cred?
I read a tech manual today.
I modeled the podcast studio, including taking pictures of the carpet and turning that into a 3D solid covering to make the floor.
Awesome.
Nice.
I've done that before. This design project I was doing, there was like grading, and so I found a picture of grading and used that as a, I can't remember what they call it now.
Texture.
Yeah, texture solid for the floor. It looked pretty good. That's fun.
It's fun.
It was interesting being in the Philippines with two civil engineers.
Because I bet.
Whenever we saw somebody building something, we got a little lesson on like, yeah, I wouldn't go in that building. Or, oh yeah, see there, that would make it slightly more earthquake resistant unless it lasted more than 2 seconds. Stuff like that. So
That reminds me when we were in the rainforest, there was this log that was sticking out like cantilever, like 12 feet off the ground.
Whoa.
And it was a big, like 3 or 4 feet diameter log. Oops.
Whoa.
But you could climb on top of
that's
it.
what it sounded like.
And so my nephew was up there, and he was like, "Oh, I don't think this is safe. I didn't realize there's nothing holding this end up." And I'm like, "Oh no, it's safe." He's like, "What? Are you sure?" I'm like, "I'm a mechanical engineer. I just did the calcs in my head, and it's safe." I'm like, I did a free body diagram in my head. It's all good.
FBD. Yeah, you know me.
Anyway.
What was it? Oh, I was talking about video games and Commodore 64s today at work with people. It brought to my memory that I'd found an old spiral notebook with saves we had from River City Ransom.
Oh.
And I think I tried one on my Wii River City Ransom game, and I think it worked.
Oh,
Nice.
cool.
Yeah, we also mentioned while I was talking to him about it, one of the guys said we might tweet about it. It was like, the best penmanship class I ever took was trying to write down the code for that so you could re-enter it.
Yes.
Is that a U or a V?
Yeah.
Then we decided, I think sometimes we'd write like the numbers smaller, like half the size as the letters, so you wouldn't get those mixed up. So there's that. I'm sure there's other nerdy things I've done.
Yeah, knowing you.
Everything he does is nerdy.
I got a new version of AutoCAD at work. That's exciting.
Oh, so did I.
I was like the most excited person.
I don't use AutoCAD at work.
And then someone that uses it in a way I do not approve of. It wouldn't work with the new one, but I helped her figure out how to make it work.
She
like,
uses
takes her
it in a
she copies
bad way.
AutoCAD, just like select window, copy, paste into Word, which would make it so then she could open that Word document and click on it, and then it'd open the AutoCAD file so she could edit it. But when you bring it into Word, it like stretches it weird, and so all of her circles aren't quite circular. And yeah, I don't know. That's the way she learned to do it.
She needs to unlearn that.
I know. I figured how to get it to work though with the new system, which was horrible. I was like, okay, so you select it, copy, Control C. She's like, oh, I usually go up here and do this. I was like, Control C is the same thing. But she was just pasting. I was like, no, when you get into Word, you have to click Paste Special.
Yeah.
And then this is only the first time because somehow it links the two programs so they can see each other.
Oh.
Then you have to pick the AutoCAD object, and then it links it. It's like, I shuddered.
What's the benefit of doing it that way?
So she puts these pictures in her technical direction. And if she needs to edit it, then she just double clicks on it. Doesn't have to go find. It actually opens a temporary AutoCAD file based on that linked.
Yeah.
So it's not really linked, but it's,
Yeah, people used to do that with Smart Sketch, but it never
where it came
worked
from.
right.
I knew a guy that just drew it in Word.
Gross.
And actually, it worked pretty good.
Was it to scale?
It wasn't stuff that needed to be to scale.
It should at least be proportional.
It was close enough. It just eyeball it.
You're killing me.
It
It's like a
worked.
dagger
It
through my
worked
head.
good. Actually, I did it a few times for some
It's like
stuff.
people that don't
It's for
draw-
really simple things.
Right.
It's not for.
It's like people that draw in AutoCAD not to exact numbers. I'm like, why? It's so easy to do.
See, I would take a screenshot of
This is
the
44.89
original
degrees.
print of when they first, laid out these pipes and stuff, and then I would go into Paint and like erase and stuff, and then paste it into
Don't get me
Word.
wrong. I've edited in Paint before.
Yeah.
Change text. We need this text to say this. Okay. All we have is a scan of it. I can do that.
Yeah.
Like, really? And they look at it. Wow, this looks really good.
That's right.
Sometimes the
Have
key
you ever
is-
traced over like a picture of a piece of equipment that you import into AutoCAD as like a raster image or something, and then trace over it, but try to get it as close to like within 1/8 of an inch tolerance
I do that.
instead of just drawing the lines and they don't line up and everything. But anyway, I've done that before.
There used to be, we used to have add-on software for AutoCAD that, and for previous companies that had like cool picture tools, like you could actually rubber sheet and stretch different portions so you can get it to line up
Oh,
perfectly. And we also had software that'd follow a line. You could click on it and it would follow it with a polyline, which we use for contours because they'd waste time of drafters digitizing USGS quad maps
mm-hmm.
instead of just buying the electronic version of the
Oh.
USGS quad map.
Yeah.
I think I calculated based on how much I got paid and probably overhead for the company, and it was not a contest. They should just bought the electronic file. But it was fun, I guess.
Well, and it's bad when you have your engineering scale up to your flat screen
I've
monitor.
done that.
And
What's wrong with that?
nothing.
It's so much better now that we have flat screens.
Yes.
You used to have to get like a flexible thing
Right.
to measure around the curvature of your screen.
All right, our final segment is feedback. Did you guys look at feedback last week?
No.
Okay,
tried.
so
A little bit.
Rob,
not really. Oh.
Facebook message.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
we
we
did
did that.
talk about this one.
Oh, okay.
I had to remind DVD that we had that. So.
Okay, so never mind, Rob. Go back to sleep.
Is he asleep right now?
Oh no.
It's-
We're not that
We should have
boring.
a chase scene with shooting and stuff to wake him up.
Yeah.
And Wes Wade liked one of our Pinterest boards,
Yes.
so thanks,
G.I. Joe
Wes.
one?
Yeah, G.I. Joe.
Yes.
Do we have any other
popular.
ones?
Yes.
There may
Oh,
be.
we do.
Yeah, but people only like the G.I. Joe ones. So. All right. If
Go, Joe.
you want to contact us, send an email to enginerdyshow@gmail.com, or you can find us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search for Enginerdy Show. You can support the show by going to enginerdyshow.com, where you will find a link that takes you to Amazon. If you use that link, then Amazon gives us a little bit of dough for when you buy stuff through our link. So it's awesome. Once you click through, it looks just like, it's regular Amazon. It just remembers what site you got there from. So it's kind of cool. You can also buy our logo, our Vulcan Salute logo on a t-shirt, like DVD's modeling right now.
Can't see it, probably.
I'm going to get one of those.
I like it.
Because I bought a t-shirt from a different podcast today. I was like, I don't even have a t-shirt from my
I
podcast.
sat down in my chair at work today, looked at my shirt, and then looked at my wall where I have the black and white
Oh.
image.
Yeah, so I'm going to get one of those too. through our site. You click on the shop, and then there's a picture of the Vulcan salute. You click that, it goes to our Teespring store, and then you can buy it. That probably still works.
Eventually, I'd like to also get.
It shows
the
two of them
Velociraptor.
on there, but both of them take you to the Vulcan Salute
Oh,
one. I know that because I was looking at it the other day, and then I was on weather.com and I saw an ad for a T-shirt on there.
nice.
Like, weather.com knows what I've been looking at.
Is it?
I think I may
Is
have
there more
put
than one
it
color?
on there twice because it was. Oh, it's only on there once on here.
No, but if you click the top one,
It takes you to
top
the
one?
it takes you to the bottom one.
It does?
Yes.
Oh, maybe I screwed up the code on that.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'll have to fix that.
Oh, it's in green.
It comes in different colors.
I got
You
the.
can get it in
the
purple,
bluish
which I might do because I like purple.
Yeah, that's a good color.
You can also get it on a mug, a hoodie.
I should get a hoodie.
There's a couple different.
Style shirts.
That must
Yeah,
be the
there's
one I
a
have.
cheaper one and a more expensive premium one. It's only $1 more.
It's only $1.
And you can get it on a sticker, but the sticker's green. I couldn't figure out how to. So I figured out if I had
Because his blood's green.
made the
Mm.
logo on a white shirt first, it would
Ah.
have put it on a white sticker, and then I could have added more colors to the shirts.
Silly.
Hmm.
So always add it to a white shirt.
Yes, in the future when we make new shirts, we'll do that.
I want to get the Velociraptor again, so I need to get you that file.
Yes. All right. Thank you for listening this week. Stay nerdy.
Live long and nerdy.
See, that's how it feels. That's a Thor Ragnarok quote.
Oh,
Okay.
right, from Loki.
Yes.